Alright, in this video we're going to continue with applications of ratios. And suppose we're given a problem like this one. So there's a lottery of there's a jackpot of $100,000 to be won. And we want to divide that into 3 winners. But we want the ratio of the earnings to be 2 to 3 to 5. So the question is, how much money should we give to each of those winners? Well, we know that because the ratio is not 1 to 1, each of them will get a different amount of money. So we want to find out exactly how much money we should give to each one. So the first thing to write is the ratio is 2 to 3 to 5. And now we want to find out, okay, so the first thing we need to know is how many portions of the total prize money are we actually going to get? So what we're going to do is we're going to add up. So let me just write it here. The number of portions or parts of that prize money is going to be equal to the sum of all these digits. So we have 2 plus 3 plus 5. So that's going to be 5 plus 5, which is 10. So that means we're going to divide this into 10 equal parts. So the total value of a single part is going to be 100,000 divided by 10. So we cancel out one of the zeros, and that's going to be $10,000 per part. Now what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, so we know that's the total number of parts, so let's express this ratio as follows. So we're going to get 2 on 10, 3 out of 10, and then 5 out of 10. So in this way, what we can do is we can say, okay, so the first person is going to get 2 parts out of 10, which means that it's going to get 2 times this. So the first person is going to get $20,000. Then the second person is going to get 3 parts out of 10, which is going to be 30,000. And then the third person is going to get 5 parts out of 10, which is going to be 50,000. So clearly this would be the first winner, this would be the second winner, and that would be the third one. So, and the way we can check this is correct is by adding up all these numbers, and we should get back to 100,000. And that's indeed the case here. So we know this is the correct distribution of money for each of those winners based on this ratio. So let's do just another example just to make sure that you understand the concept here. So let's say we have $70 and we want to split it up into each of these ratios here. So let's say question A is going to be a ratio of 1 to 2 to 4. Okay, so let's think about that for a second. So how many parts do we have here in this ratio? Well, we're going to have 1 plus 2 plus 4. That's 7 equal parts. So that means the value of one single part is going to be 70. So one part is going to be $70 divided by 7, which is just $10. And now what we need to do is, well, we have a total of 7 parts here. So let's divide each of these by 7. So the ratio becomes 1 on 7, to 2 on 7, to 4 on 7. And now what we're going to do is, okay, so the first person is going to get 1 part out of 7, which is just going to be valued at $10. The second person is going to get 2 parts out of 7, which is going to be 2 times this number, so that's $20. And then the third person is going to get 4 parts out of 7, so that's going to be $40. And then if we add these numbers together, we get, once again, $70. So that would be the correct distribution of money for that ratio. Now let's say that we have a different ratio, so something like 2 to 7 to 1. So once again, add up all the numbers here. So 2 plus 7 plus 1. That's going to be a total of 10. And that means that the value of one part of this 10 is going to be 70 divided by 7. Sorry, 70 divided by 10 in this case. So that cancels out here. And we're left with $7. And now what we're going to do with that is, well, we're going to divide this ratio, each of these by 10. So that's 2 parts out of 10, 7 out of 10, and that's 1 out of 10. So the first person over here is going to get 2 parts out of that whole piece. So that's going to be 2 times 7, which is $14. Then the next person is going to get 7 parts out of 10. So that's going to be 7 times 7, which is $49. Okay, so remember, we're multiplying this by the value of each part. And then for this one, they're only going to get 1 part out of 10. So that's just going to be $7. And if we add this all together, we should get back to $70. So let's see. 14 plus 7, that's 21 plus 49. And that's indeed $70. And let's do a last one just to make sure that everything is basically ingrained into your mind. So we have 8 to 5 to 1. Add up the parts. So that's 8 plus 5 plus 1. This is going to be 13 plus 1. That's 14. And that means that we're going to divide the $70 by 14. So that would be the size of one part. Now for this one, if we put in the calculator, that's going to be 5. So the value of a single part is going to be 5. So now we represent the ratio by dividing by the total number of parts. So that's 14, 5 on 14, and then 1 on 14. So the first person is going to get 8 parts out of 14. So 8 times 5, that's going to be $40. The second person is going to get 5 out of 14, which is going to be 5 times 5, $25. And then the last person is going to get 1 part out of 14, which is just $5. And if we add all these numbers together, we get $70. So this is another way in which you can apply ratios to things that are practical, because if you run a lottery one day, maybe you will have to do this calculation on a daily basis just to distribute money in a certain ratio. So this is precisely how you go about doing that.